First tonight, we're following breaking news out of Dayton police. You can see right now on the scene of a reported shooting at a Marathon gas station. Again, this is in Dayton. These are pictures of that scene from just a short time ago. Officials telling us that this happened all before 9 o'clock tonight, and at least one person was taken to Miami Valley Hospital. We are still working to learn more information about what exactly happened here, but as we get anything new, we'll be sure to update you here on air and online at Dayton247now.com.
Tonight, several families are upset with one Versailles animal clinic.
They say after their pet was put down, the cremation was not done correctly. Gwyneth Falloon spoke with the family, who says that this happened to them just this week.
Taylor Keyser tells me she brought her dog here to this clinic in Versailles when he was hurt in a hit and run. Unfortunately, the dog had to be put down on February 28th because his injuries were too serious. When her husband picked up his ashes on Monday, she says her family was horrified by what they saw. This is a plastic bag of bone fragments. Keyser says this is what she found when she opened the box from Brun's animal clinic that was supposed to be her dog's ashes.
He opens the box to find chunks of dehydrated bone. So, yeah, I went back over there after work. The owner called me. He says, because I asked for a refund to get him properly cremated. They told me they could not do that.
Keyser took the bag to Tribute Funeral Homes in Greenville and says they were able to help. The manager there tells me the cremation was done correctly, but the processing afterwards was not. If you would like to read the full story, you can visit our website. That's Dayton247now.com. Reporting in Versailles, I'm Gwyneth Falloon.
Gwen, thanks. Now, this man is facing multiple charges tonight after police say he caused a deadly crash. Prosecutors say Corey Harburger's blood tested positive for both marijuana and meth at the time of that crash. Now, that comes after being accused of running from police back on January 24th. This all started in Harrison Township and ended in Huber Heights, where he crashed his vehicle. One of the several other vehicles involved, it caught fire there, as you can see, leaving one man dead. Harburger is expected to be arraigned next Wednesday. Also, a man who is accused of killing a woman in Covington has been arrested in Montgomery County. Ryan Sherman faces several charges as police believe he shot Laverne Wilson. Police got an anonymous tip that Sherman was at an address in Dayton, tracked him down there. Sherman will be extradited to Kenton County to face charges.
The Franklin County Coroner's Office just releasing the autopsy of 6-month-old Kyer Thomas. He was one of the twins kidnapped out of Columbus last December, prompting a days-long Amber Alert. Kyer died a month after being reunited with his family. Now, Kyer's manner of death has been ruled sudden, unexplained infant death with other significant conditions, including an unsafe sleep environment. The autopsy details that the baby was placed face down on an adult bed with too much bedding and no supervision. No charges have been filed for Kyer's death.
Newly released body camera video shows the events leading up to an officer-involved shooting in Goshen Township back on February 28th. It left one woman wounded. Cassie Arsenal breaks down what the video shows.
Hi there.
Newly released body cam video shows the events leading up to an officer-involved shooting in Goshen Township on February 28th. It left a woman wounded. Police originally got a call for a suicidal woman. The uncle answered the door and handed officers the gun that he thought his niece had. But what they didn't realize is she found another gun.
Hi, Pamela.
How are you?
Oh, gun! Oh, hey! 84, she's got a gun. Shots fired.
Officers cleared the home and tried to reason with her from outside, first by trying to call her on the phone, and then by shouting to her, repeatedly asking her to come outside without the gun. Pamela refused to put down the weapon, and officers made a decision.
Hey, Pamela! She's pointing a gun. Pamela, stop! Pamela, let me talk to you. Matt, she's pointing a gun at me. Hey, Pamela, stop, please. Drop the gun! Drop the gun! She pointed that gun straight at you.
The woman immediately received first aid, and she was flown to UC Medical Center in stable condition.
And that was Cassie Arsenal reporting tonight. Newly released video shows how an Oregon double murder suspect escaped custody last February. 28-year-old Eddie Villalobos was escorted into a Washington County court by a deputy, and that deputy then removed his handcuffs and leg shackles as the law requires. You can take a look and see what happens next. Villalobos gets up, makes a dash for the door, outrunning the deputy who chased him down a hallway out of the building. Villalobos was in court to answer charges related to deadly stabbings of two people in 2021. His newfound freedom did not last long The sheriff's department sprung into action. Hours later, he was located in a nearby apartment, hiding under a blanket in a closet, taken back into custody.
Awake and responsive, those two words are incredibly welcome in the condition of a young woman whose entire family was killed in a Claremont County murder-suicide tragedy. David Winter has an update on her condition tonight and new information about the investigation into exactly what happened late last month.
Samantha Cain's best friend from NKU, Macy Gamble, says that Samantha's eyes are open and she is responsive. Macy says that Samantha is now awake, her condition is now stable, and she's getting better every day. She says that Samantha is tracking people in the room in the hospital with her eyes, and she is responding to people by squeezing their hands. She sent us a picture of Samantha's hand while she is holding it. This picture is so very poignant. Samantha, though, she is still nonverbal and has a long road ahead to recover. As you may recall, Samantha is the 20-year-old who on February 27th was found clinging to life in her home in Ohio Township. Samantha, along with her 13-year-old brother, her father, and her grandfather were all shot in the head. Samantha was the only one to survive. A picture of father and son, Stephen and Ethan Cain, from a GoFundMe page set up. I'll get back to that in just a moment. Police say that Samantha's mother, Teresa Cain, seen here on her Facebook page, shot all of them and then shot and killed herself due to being distraught over the family's financial troubles. The morning of the shooting, the family was getting evicted from their home.
And that was David Winter reporting tonight. Now, these are live pictures over the Capitol building tonight after senators pressed Norfolk Southern leaders over the multiple derailments that have happened here in Ohio. Whether or not to tighten railroad industry rules, though, is becoming a source of tension among Republicans. Senator J.D. Vance calling out those in his party opposed to rail safety.
These comments are not directed at them. Who they are directed at is a particular slice of people who seem to think that any public safety enhancements for the rail industry is somehow a violation of the free market.
Vance joined a bipartisan group in proposing new rules on faulty ball bearings, which are suspected to have caused last month's derailment. Some in the Republican Party, though, are taking a wait-and-see approach.
I'm never in favor much of more federal government, the federal government telling the states how to do their business. But we've got to wait for the full investigative report from the National Transportation Safety Board, find out why this accident occurred.
Now, this was the first major hearing since the derailment.
Well, we have made it to the weekend, but unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, I guess, we might have some snow in the forecast, at least for one of the days.
You said it this time.
I did. I didn't say four-letter S word.
It is the S word. Yeah. We do have some snow. We got some cold too. Temperatures across much of basically 30 degrees north. 35 in Dayton, 34 in Chicago and Kansas City, 30s up towards Rapid City and Minneapolis. But chilly conditions, cold air has definitely seeped back into the area. Current temps across the entire area sitting in the low to mid 30s. Richmond, Urbana, Wapakoneta all sitting at 32, and then Greenville and Troy sitting at 34. Temperature trend going to stay about the same for a little while. We're going to drop down really cold on Monday and Tuesday into the Thursday. But as we move towards next weekend, looks like we might start warming up just a little bit. But this is right around, as you can see, our normal high is 49. It's right around average, but I will definitely take 50 degrees over the 30s.
Tim, thanks. School districts and law enforcement agencies, they are teaming up to educate parents and students about online safety. The goal, to teach them about the dangers of online bullying and sexting. Claire Faith spoke with the groups about why these conversations are necessary.
Centerville City Schools and the Montgomery County Sheriff Office are discussing the good and bad of social media apps. They're working to educate students and their families about the consequences of sharing inappropriate messages with other kids or predators. The Montgomery County Sheriff Office says teaching your kid early about being smart on social media can help them in the future.
Whether it is something that's bullying or something that's sexting or inappropriate pictures, not realizing there's actual criminal charges that could come with that.
Centerville City Schools will host a seminar on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Reporting in Centerville, Claire Faith, Dayton 24/7 Now News.
Clara, thanks. An illegally owned cat found with cocaine in its system. After the break, we hear from its previous owner in an exclusive interview about the events leading up to its capture.
Also, a Silicon Valley bank seized by regulators today. White House officials are responding and the impact this all had on Wall Street.
Some of us saw some snowflakes today, but we have some more on the way. I'll have that forecast coming up. Here is a look at your Eco Plumber Skycam. You're watching Dayton 24/7 Now.
It's a story you saw here first, and it quickly made its way all across the nation. An illegally owned serval cat found with cocaine in its system. Tonight, the cat's former owner is talking publicly for the first time in an exclusive interview with Luke Jones. He asked us, though, not to reveal his identity out of concern for the family's safety.
It surprised me as much as everybody else.
The former owner of this 25-pound exotic cat says he couldn't believe it when he learned his pet tested positive for drugs.
He seen it in my face that I was like stunned, you know, I was kind of like, how?
He had a similar reaction when they told him Amiri was a serval and not the F1 Savannah cat he thought he was buying last year for $4,500.
Kind of blew my mind when they said he was a serval.
During their 9 months together, he and Amiri were practically inseparable.
I mean, he's really like not that bad.
That all changed the morning of January 28th when Amiri escaped his Oakley apartment.
The cat scrambled up this tree. The owner had a friend lift him up so he could get to this branch, but before he could get to the cat, he broke his foot.
Rescue crews eventually got Amiri down, but the cat broke its leg in the process. Weeks later, the test results came back. Amiri was a serval, and then more alarming news. He had cocaine in his system.
He's with me all the time. I don't know, exactly what people that's touched him had in their hands. Like, it's a tough situation, but I would personally never give my cat anything.
In Cincinnati, I'm Luke Jones.
All right, so the system that brought a few people some snow showers moving through off to our northeast. A little bit of cloud cover through the early morning as well around 9 a.m., partly to mostly cloudy conditions, but that'll clear out over the entire Miami Valley around lunchtime, 2 p.m., giving us a nice little break in the day for some sunshine. Clouds quickly build back in, though. 4 to 5 p.m., we'll start seeing that move back in. The rain that approaches quickly transitions over to snow, battling a little bit of dry air, though. And then you'll see through the early morning hours, around 8 to 9 a.m., we're going to start seeing that heavier snow set in. But it doesn't last long, so it'll quickly fall. Could see some light accumulations of less than an inch. Some locations could pick up about an inch, depending on where those heavier bands set up. But I'll have your potential snowfall forecast coming up.
Tim, thanks. It's being called the second largest bank failure in U.S. history. Bank regulators seized Silicon Valley Bank. It joined Silvergate Bank, which wound down banking services earlier this month. Silvergate catered mostly to cryptocurrency investors, many of whom were crushed after that market collapsed earlier this year. Silicon Valley Bank, or SVB, focused on tech investors. SVB is the largest bank to go under since the Great Recession. It's believed the 10-year Treasury bonds it bought decreased in value after the Fed hiked interest rates. That hurt the bank's ability to cover its outsized deposits. White House economic advisors are offering an optimistic outlook following the collapse. Advisors are saying they have full faith in regulators.
We are in a fundamentally different position that with the reforms of the global financial crisis of 2007, 2008, we've put in place stress tests and other tools that our regulators have to provide more resilience to our banking system.
Now, trading of the bank shares had to be stopped before the opening bell due to extreme volatility.
And due to the closure, the stocks, they dropped big time tonight. You can see all the numbers are down as of this evening, with Dow Jones being the biggest drop of all three. This will most likely continue, experts say, to affect the market as more fallout from the bank closure has been felt throughout the country.
At least 2 people are dead in California tonight as yet another atmospheric river storm is slamming the state. One of those deaths happened after heavy rains collapsed a roof at an Oakland warehouse, killing a person working inside and injuring another. This as immense flooding tears through the state, closing major roads and forcing thousands to evacuate. State officials opened up more than a dozen shelters to help displaced residents. Authorities saying they're in critical response mode.
But right now we're concentrating on those essential, critical, life-saving, life-sustaining issues, and we'll deal with the major disaster declaration, which we anticipate to request when we can get to it after we do our critical response.
This morning, President Biden approved an emergency declaration request from Governor Gavin Newsom authorizing federal agencies to support state and local responses. Newsom has proclaimed a state of emergency for 34 California counties.
Live look from our Eco Plumber Skycam now as we are to the weekend and we are expecting snow, Tim.
Yeah, some light snow, nothing major we're expecting from this. Maybe some locations picking up an inch, but definitely going to see some cold temperatures move into the region that they're already in the region. They're going to be sticking around for quite a few days into the early week. Monday and Tuesday looking our coldest. But we do have some snowfall on Sunday, and we could see a few lingering flurries on Monday, but overall Monday looks to be mostly cloudy. But snow cover currently, we have a little bit to our north, the north viewing area from the system that moved through last night, dropping a light dusting for most of them. So the potential for some snowfall through the night on Saturday and into the early morning hours on Sunday. Not very significant. As you can see, most of us can expect less than an inch. We could see some bands set up for some heavier snowfall. Those areas could see an inch or just above an inch.
Tim, thanks. Dayton 24/7 now partnering with the National Alliance on Mental Illness, known as NAMI, to launch Sinclair Cares, Mental Health Support and Hope. It's a campaign to encourage mental health awareness with a focus on young adults. NAMI is the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization. It's dedicated to building better lives for millions of Americans affected by mental illness through advocacy, education, support, and public awareness. Now, there's lots of resources and support groups for you here in the Miami Valley right now. You can learn more, find help near you. Just go to sinclaircares.com, or you can scan that QR code on your screen.
Montgomery County Commissioners celebrating a new court. What officials say this investment is going to offer the community. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now. Tonight, Montgomery County Commissioners are celebrating the new Western Division Municipal Court. Melena Brown tells us what the new community investment is going to offer.
At the ribbon cutting today, officials said that the idea of this new court was brought up 6 years ago in 2017 when the decision was made to move the court from New Lebanon to Trotwood. Ground broke on the East Main Street location in 2021. County commissioners and the mayor of Trotwood spoke on the impact that this will have on the community.
Access to justice is one of the most fundamental rights citizens should expect from their government. This includes the convenience that this courthouse will provide.
This building is much more than a courthouse. Valuable county resources are available right here. Residents can enroll in social services programs like food and child care assistance. This leads to long-term success for families and our entire community.
The 18,000 square foot facility will serve Brookville and Trotwood and the villages of Farmersville, New Lebanon, Phillipsburg, and Verona, as well as the townships of Clay, Jackson, Jefferson, and Perry. The original budget for this project was $8 million, but the city was able to get it completed with $7.8 million, leaving money left over. The Western Division Municipal Court will officially open to the public on May 1st. For Dayton 24/7 Now News, I'm Milena Brown.
Goodwill Easter Seals holding a second chance job fair today gives those with a criminal history an opportunity to find work in the community and overcome the barriers to employment. Experts say it can be really difficult to find employment when you have a criminal background or a returning citizen.
Background checks, different things can really be a barrier. So for individuals who are looking to have a fresh start, for individuals who are looking to find gainful employment, oftentimes that can be challenging. So we really are excited to have a group of employer partners who are willing to work with us and help place those individuals into employment so they can earn a living, they can be able to find stable housing.
She says it's really important to have employers who are open to understanding all of us need a second chance at one time or another. And right now, several companies are trying to find workers for different positions. Primetime Party Rental is looking to hire a delivery crew, warehouse associates. Economy Linen and Towel Service has availability in production and janitorial. And Surge Staffing needs car parts assemblers. The Ohio State Buckeyes, they are looking to continue their run in the Big Ten tournament, how they held on in a matchup against a very disciplined Michigan State Spartan squad.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 Now.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
Good evening, I'm Matt Digby with a look at sports. Friday was an off day for the Atlantic 10 tournament. All the top 4 seeds, including Dayton, winning their quarterfinals on Thursday. So now they have another day to prepare for the semifinals. The Flyers are in the second semi tomorrow, a mid-afternoon contest against Fordham. UD did beat the Rams by more than 20 on the road back in January, but they know to expect a different team on the other side of the court tomorrow. Anthony Grant's team needing to play all 40 minutes yesterday to hold off St. Joseph's, while Fordham also involved in the close game with LaSalle. The other semifinal will be VCU and St. Louis. Dayton splitting the regular season meetings with both the VCU Rams and the Billikens. You talk about a Cinderella run, Ohio State men's basketball. Remember when they lost 9 straight just a few weeks ago? Well, now the Buckeyes have won 3 straight in the Big Ten tournament, advancing to the semifinals as the 13th seed. Ohio State, the lowest seed to make it that far in tournament history. Friday's win over Michigan State saw OSU take a 9-point lead into halftime, and the team believes they won because of the positive attitude that has helped them over the last 3 days.
But it's about our team. It always is and has been and will be, and we had multiple guys step up, and that's what it takes in an environment like this. I got a ton of respect for Michigan State. Aggressiveness, confidence. He was great yesterday. We felt like he's in a great rhythm. We're in a great rhythm.
These guys are my guys. Like, I feel like we've got together so much, like, especially from the beginning of the season to now. I feel like we've got, the chemistry has been something different. We all just like playing with each other, so I feel like that was the reason why we come out and we play so hard these past few weeks. We just got really nothing to lose, so we got free basketball.
High school boys basketball Friday. Jackson Center and Russia playing for the Region 16 title. First quarter, Bryson Roberts to Camden Reese, who maneuvers underneath the basket. The shot gets a friendly bounce off the rim. Tigers with the early lead. At the other end, Hayden Quinter nearly turns the ball over, but he keeps possession and finishes the lay-in himself. Raiders with the lead after 1. Second quarter, Quinter kicks out to Zane Shappy for 3 from the corner. Count it. Russia with a 20-10 lead at halftime, but second half points will be at a premium. Quinter out to Vince Borchers. In from the corner, finishing the layup. Raiders still in front. Jackson Center looking to answer. A shot here will be blocked, but Reese keeps the possession alive. Kicks out to Jace Mullenauer, who connects from the baseline. The Raiders are up 2 with 6 seconds to play in the game. The Tigers have a chance to tie or win this 3 for the regional title, but it's off the rim. Time runs out. Russia winning 27-25 the final. One man on their minds in the postgame celebrations, their head coach Dave Borchers, who passed away in October.
He loved these guys, and these guys loved him. They know how much they meant to him, and know the hard work and dedication that he put into, this program, and they honor him every day. I just can't say enough about what kind of resolve and fight that they've showed all year long.
It's awesome. Our goal was to meet them in the regional finals again, and we made that happen, and we came out on top.